So the code snippet you're seeing on screen is going to be a little important to what I'm basically going to be talking about here, because the reason why this video is most likely coming late at the time of its upload is because I was testing out certain things, that code snippet being one of them. So as we actually get a normal type of run with 7th Curse, you're going to see the changes, basically. That's all I'm trying to say. I'll talk about it after the timestamp, because otherwise I'm just going to end up cutting myself off. So, oh, my body. Let's see here. 7th Curse, please, where are you? And then we are getting into at 7th Curse, random item stats, custom character once more. But this time, this fire weapon action is going to be a lot faster. Now, normally I would put that in the weapon's description, but I couldn't fit it anywhere. Actually, it was more important to get everything working, light, strength, dexterity, maybe a second encounter. But not that that's gonna change, might not change the balance too much, especially if I get unlucky. And if you didn't see the previous episode, basically I'm using a weapon that can crit. I can make it more specific to the character alone, but because I'm not giving you this weapon with like anywhere else, it's not in any of the shops, then, well, hey. So, as we see, Festival, Household Hell, Battlefields, and Phantasms. Let's find out. I was trying to look at whether or not I had the custom mystery set the way I wanted. I guess they might as well be. And you know what? Since we got Flood again, we're going to take Flood again first. The unfortunate part about this is that we start off with Mind Wipe, but I need the experience, and I want the experience now. Not that I needed it actually right away, so I probably should have waited. But otherwise, let's get into here. So, you'll notice here that the fire weapon action is a lot faster than it normally is. I think if I recall my own video correctly, because I didn't take a look at it. So fire weapon is normally 120 time units minus perception times 5. And so it should normally be, at this current moment, fire weapon should be about 95 time units. Am I going crazy here? But it's not, as you see here, and it's because I specifically made the fire weapon action faster upon equipping this custom weapon. So that's the general form of it. What actually happened is that, so I took a look. I didn't want to actually shoot this encounter. Now I'm in a bit of trouble. But so there is a certain line, and this is going to be more for the programming side. Hey, oh my goodness, someone sneezed in the background. Yeah, so it's more for someone with, who knows the ETO files, but you can just follow along with me here because the concept makes sense as well. So, where do I start? So there is an ETO file. I forgot which. I think it's an item. No, I think it was a weapon that has a modifier in which it makes I think it's the pocket pistol in particular, where your first fire action is a lot faster. So what you can actually do there, or when I took a look at that, I basically made a guess and said, actually, I probably should look at what I had. So let me just make sure I get into the boss fight first before I make sure I know what I'm talking about. Also, the tragedy of double encounters still exists, but that's something we can deal with. It's something you can balance around, so it's fine. But if I take a peek at this for a moment, so the specific variable is called custom time mod action, and you can label it certain things, and in this case, it would just be the fire weapon action. That's kind of where my logic took me. But I was thinking, I just realized we're also in a lot more trouble than I thought. I was thinking you could just add, because in the pocket pistol it says first fire weapon with underscores in between to kind of give you the mental picture if you didn't look at the code snippet at the very beginning of the video. But after that, so I didn't want just the first fire weapon action to be faster, and so I thought, is it possible that it's coded in a way that you could just say the fire weapon action in general? And as it turns out, the answer is yes. I thought this was mentioned in one of the demo ETO files. I don't remember if I'm remembering correctly, though. Actually, we should just take this next hit in the face. So, prep kick. And so therefore, so what I was thinking, so more as a just like a theoretical experiment. I don't know if I'm right or not, but just making sure I need to survive this encounter so this video isn't just super short. So either that call to custom time mod action, I had to look at the name again, is something that belongs to the perm plugin, and it can search for any action, or there are specific lines for each action. But that would mean that whoever was in charge, I need to reach. Okay, we'll take Phantasm a second. Whoever was in charge decided that. How should I say this? I'm trying to figure out the best way to say what I'm thinking properly. I was also figuring whether or not I should prepare again, which I'm going to do. But, yeah, someone went through and basically added one line for each action that's custom time mod action, underscore kick, underscore normal, normal attack, underscore something. You get what I'm saying there. But then they would have also had it to add for the first time you use it. So first fire weapon, first strong attack, first brace, if that makes any sense. But anywho, I'm just making sure I did this properly. Was that 3 funds, by the way? Anywho, so yeah, that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking, but I don't know for certain. Again, it's just a thought experiment that I just so that you know what I'm thinking about. But then I could just go in and test myself by changing my own Ito files. But again, I only have so much time in my life, and I'm not willing to just do the base test there. If I could hit a crit, that would be great. In case you forgot, this weapon can crit, which it did twice there at a 25% chance. So all the crits that I should have gotten during the boss encounter, I got here, I guess. Ugh, my throat. But otherwise, the only other thing to mention, I guess, on this note, aside from that thought experiment, is that I did have some Band-Aid fixes. I think the Band-Aid fix that I was planning for was just to increase perception, but that wouldn't have been too intuitive, because one, that interferes with your, more certainly it interferes with your perception checks in general, obviously, because then you could just, or you're gonna pass a lot more perception checks just by nature of equipping this weapon, and then when you unequip it, it would just decrease your perception by 3. But the other side of that, and more niche uses of that, would be that you're about to lose all of your perception, maybe on a Zictast run, and then you end up just equipping this weapon or keeping it equipped so that your perception doesn't fall, especially if you have another weapon better. Not saying that you can't just go katana. You can always go katana, pretty much. It's hard to kind of justify not replacing the custom item that is given to a custom character has to be good for it to be not replaced by the katana if you happen to get it during a run. But that's another consideration entirely and can be a whole other video, which I think I have actually spent whole videos talking about katana before, but anywho. So the last thing I'll mention, and you'll notice I didn't use flesh regrowth there. I think it's because flesh regrowth does not get its cost removed there. I could be wrong. I feel like I've tried it before though, but anywho. The last thing I'll mention is that I saw something in the Discord, and yes, I did reply to it in case you saw it. Is that someone mentioned, and I'm not trying to call this person out, that's why I'm being general here. But they saw that World of Horror was going to get a big update soon, and they just decided to wait. If you were to ask me whether or not to get into World of Horror right now, there are 2 main reasons, and the first one being the more important is that if the update comes out, there's a non-zero chance that the game's price gets updated, and that's pretty much solely based on the fact that the game has been increased in price before, because I believe when I was trying to, my eyes are rolling to the back of my head in an attempt to remember, but I believe that when World of Horror first was released on early access, it must have been around $10 to $12 USD, and now it's $20 USD. So that's where I'm basing my idea of, okay, maybe you want to get into it now, unless you're just... Actually, no, that wouldn't make sense, because that would make sense. I'm gonna gamble here, by the way. So what I'm thinking is, maybe someone has World of Horror, but they don't want to play it yet. That wouldn't make any sense then to ask the question, oh, I don't want to get into it now, I'll wait for the update. But the reason why I'm saying that you should probably get into at least buying the game now is that the price could be updated. Now, I'm not saying this as a positive or negative thing towards the developer, the publisher, or anyone involved with World of Horror. It's just based on, I want to say empirical or objective evidence that the game's pricing has increased as it's after, I think, even just 1.0. But again, unless the developer just decides to slap me in the face with a comment saying, hey, no, because the game's already out, because that the counter argument is that the game has already been or the price increased only after version 1.0 came out. So basically the game has in its completed state for out of early access. So that's one argument. But the other argument or the other reason why I'd say to just get or at least buy World of Horror now is because so that you can experience the game now, because the update, you won't basically see the difference between updates. Now, the bigger card, this one has a bigger counter argument in that, based on what I've, if I recall correctly, I could just look right now actually. So let me just correct myself first. Hopefully I hit a crit here. That would be nice. Okay, we did, thankfully. If I search for this in Discord, and Discord's UI has changed again, so I'm a little flabbergasted at the moment, but let me see a thing. Oh my goodness. Yeah, so 60 new events and 20 new enemies. That will change quite a lot, gameplay wise, if nothing else. But I think there are other modes as well. But even that, I mean, I think my argument goes both ways. So what I'm trying to say here is that you want to experience what's in the game now, so you can enjoy. I think you'll get more enjoyment, a significant amount, not too small, but not like totally big, of the changes that you'll see, as opposed to kind of just being being someone who gets the update or gets the game after the update or plays after the update, and then you find out, and then you're not sure what is part of the new update and what's not. Now, obviously, at this point, if you ask anyone in the Discord or in the community, or me even, what is new between the next upcoming update and right now, we could just tell you. But again, I think there is some. Basically, you're. I don't want to use it. I don't like using this phrase, but actually, I think it matters in this case. Buying an experience rather than the thing. Now, at this point, though, to kind of devil's advocate on myself, I think I forgot if Steam allows you to go back in update versions. And on top of that, I'm not sure. Also, note that we're in a ghost encounter now, so we can't use the fire weapon action. But I think I'm just gonna run. Yeah, we're just gonna run here. The more important part of that is if the developer allows people to play the older versions, because I know they're available, or basically, especially on, I think the itch.io version, there's basically no way to revert versions, or so if you don't know, on the, oh my god, I have to run again, by the way. If you haven't played or purchased any games on itch.io, essentially, when versions get released on itch.io, they can be replaced, but if you buy a version, so for example, 0.9.16 was a version on itch.io, in fact, or something like that, you get what I'm trying to say. If you buy that version and download it, it can get replaced by the developer later on itch.io, but people who already bought that version will have that version forever, is what I'm trying to say. I think I apply in one of those, but what I'm unsure about is whether or not the developer wants those versions to exist at all, but so that's the only thing, and this is specific to itch.io. I'm not sure about Steam. I haven't checked, but are we okay here, by the way? I'm gonna throw this brick and hope we hit a crit. Pretty much 50-50 here. It's less than 50-50, but it would be nice. Okay, good. That way I don't take more damage. But the only other thing to say, and you know what I might actually do? I might actually put a use action on this weapon so that you can use the weapon. I think you can tie events to weapon usage. Maybe that's the next episode. But if not, basically allow it so that you can get ammo by using the use weapon on the weapon. Now that makes less sense, and I guess that doesn't make as much sense, but theoretically you could do so. So just another thought experiment, but if nothing else. But I don't think I'm gonna do. No, I'm not gonna do that. So yeah, again, I would say play World of Horror now. If nothing else, buy World of Horror now. But again, that's counterintuitive. And as I mentioned in that same reply that I made, we're gonna run from this too as well, by the way. I forgot my second encounter on top of that. But if you're someone who wants to wait for an update anyway, because you want to experience everything in one big smorgasbord, then you do you. Again, I'm just trying to persuade. These are my reasons to persuade you why to get into World of Horror now. I'm not saying you have to 100% it. I would never say that actually. But if you play even just 3 runs to up to the number of characters that exist in the game right now, and -1 because one character relies on you having 100% progress, but yeah, just get a good number of runs in, and if nothing else, buy the game so that just in case the price increases. Now, this is more a consumer-friendly thing. If you want to support the developer more, you should wait for the price increase if there is one, but that's up to everyone else's discretion. But without further ado, I don't think even with these cigarettes I would have used I would have fought those encounters. But anyway, yeah, not really much to say about that. I don't think my arguments or persuasion is the best, but it is something to think about if nothing else. And if you agree or if you disagree, then feel free to, you know, just do whatever you want. By the way, I think we actually have to do a thing. Also, I'm looking at my shoot damage. Did it increase, by the way? Does Blood Frenzy affect shoot damage? I'm pretty sure it's at 5. And not that looking at this will tell you how much damage it does. This shoot damage in the description here is basically just text. You actually have to change it through the ETO file. Otherwise, yeah, it's not going to make sense. Anywho. Oh, we can't fit anything else. Let's see here. So we get 5 damage. I can't actually take this Doom. I mean, we're gonna lose if we get 5 Doom anyway, so all things considered, we can at least do this. If we hit this kick, I think we're fine. If we don't, we have to hope for, yeah, okay, good. So, this is really unfortunate, by the way, because I just so happen to have, hold on, let me focus for a moment. I happen to have a lot of stamina and reason, but I'm missing Doom here, so. But yeah, not really much else to say. I think I forgot I was going to end this video with, if not just finishing what I was talking about before. But yeah, again, overall, I do think you should get into World of Horror now. Whether due to consumer-friendly reasons or for enjoyment reasons. But again, if you do disagree, feel free to drop something in the comments section. You can maybe persuade me otherwise, but I don't think I'm going to change on this, what I believe here. I don't remember at all. I know we took Flood first. Did we fight anything in between? The Sweaty Assailant is forced to be first. So basically, if I'm guessing here, it's a 32. Actually, there's no way it's a shark, because the shark, I think, is tied to Phantasm. So... And since Flood, I guess the advice here is that if you take Flood first, you have a better chance of guessing your second encounter, because your first encounter is always going to be the Sweaty Assailant, which means that removes, I think, a choice almost always, because well, maybe, I'm not sure actually, if the game involves the first choice always in this choice, but basically it makes it easy. I think it does make it easier, because you know what your first encounter is, so it's always not going to be the Sweaty Assailant. Now, the next answer after this is whether or not I fought something afterward. I don't think I did, actually. If I did, I really just lost my memory. Okay, good. But yeah, without further ado, in the skin of our teeth and the inner workings of androids, yeah, not really much else to say. Not going to take up too much more of your time. If you know what you want to do on this channel, then you know what you want to do. Otherwise, thank you for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye!